Hey VC, thanks for stopping by my channel. Tony's LPs are us, as you can see from the sign on the wall. And we have a new edition, the Elvis Neon. When that light is on, we are recording. I want to thank my good friend Grace for that. She is the biggest Elvis fan, unsurpassed, goes to Elvis Week every year for probably the last 20 years or more, has met everyone, has met all the band members, seen Elvis live, etc., etc. So thank you very much. As Elvis would say, Grace is a good friend, and it's a lot about friendship today. This whole video is about friendship, and I've made so many friends through music. I'm making all you friends out here through music, but since growing up in high school, going to friends' houses to listen to, Allman Brothers, Idlewild South, the first Boston album, the first Cars album, Sgt. Pepper. When Sgt. Pepper was, 12, 13 years old, we got turned on to Sgt. Pepper. From 1967 later on, when we were old enough to understand Sgt. Pepper. But it's all about friendship, and some of the items I have here are based on friendship. This video is going to be a review of this man's new documentary, Little Steven Van Zandt, Miami Steve from the E Street Band and Southside Johnny and the Asbury Jukes. This is an autographed copy, and I'll show you his signature type of thing right there. Pretty cool. I met Steven at a talk he did up in North Jersey around, maybe it was November or December of 2021, I believe, when the book came out, when his autobiography came out. And this is a basis, I think, it's definitely a template for the new HBO documentary called The Disciple. It's Steven Van Zandt, Disciple. His band was called The Disciple of Soul. And most people know him from Southside, and more people know him from Bruce. The record behind me, he co-wrote a lot of those records on Born to Run, on Born in the USA album. He actually co-produced it, wrote songs, and then right around that time, he kind of split with the E Street Band. Obviously now he's back with the E Street Band, but he split to do his own thing, and he went deep into activism. He actually recorded this record with so many guest stars that it's just incredible. Sun City, Artists Unite Against Apartheid, South Africa Apartheid. He actually was instrumental in getting President Mandela freed from South African prison. And if you just go back and read what was going on in South Africa at that time, Little Stevie was probably the first artist. Peter Gabriel also did a song about apartheid, and he's on this record. But Little Stevie he jumped right into politics. He risked his life in South Africa to make a stand and to say, we are not going to play South Africa anymore. That's what this Sun City is about. And it actually liberated a whole nation from an apartheid. So what this documentary is about, it's his entire life, from being, his parents divorced, he was adopted by his stepfather Van Zandt. Steven Van Zandt, I believe his biological name is Letko. He's Italian. He says he's 100% Italian. He has pictures of all his relatives. His Nana, who started him, his grandfather, who started playing guitar, taught him how to play mandolin and guitar, and the rest is there. But this new special on HBO debuted at the Tribeca Film Fest a few weeks ago on June 8th, 2024. And my good friend Paul, who's a real Bond aficionado, he was there. He goes to all the Tribeca Film Fest, and he wrote that, this is a movie worth watching. And this weekend, on Saturday the 22nd, it debuted on HBO. I've already seen it once and a half. It's over 2.5 hours long. It's produced by Bill Teck, Teck, I believe, and he did a documentary on Peter Bogdanovich, and he did a documentary on Cuba. I'm not sure if he is a Latin American. I believe he is, but the point is he did a masterful job for only his third, as far as I know, directorial endeavor. He did a fantastic job in this movie. And all this stuff is out there. All the stuff that was out there on the internet and in interviews and things you know about Miami Steve, Little Steve, and Stevie Van Zandt. But he put them all together. There's also, I'm sure, footage that we've never seen before, but I've been following Little Steven since, I don't know when, I guess since Asbury Jukes in the 70s. He wrote a lot of the tunes on We're Having a Party. This is a compilation. I think this is a repress. But he's producer, he's on here, he's with the Jukes, and he went on to play with Bruce. My good friend Rick, like I said, this is about friendship. One of my best friends from way back from college, Rico, we call him. He met Southside at a DJ. He used to be a DJ, and he was DJing at Southside Johnny's grandfather's party, and Little Steven was there, and he got this autograph for me. I don't know if you could see that, but let me see if I can get that closer here for you. Right there. And this is probably hanging on the wall with the autographs and all the other good stuff. And I'll read it. If you can't read it, it says, to Rick, solidarity. Little Steven, solidarity. Now, that's his theme, man. Solidarity, power to the people. And as you know, from activist to actor, he played Silvio Dante on The Sopranos. I'm not sure if he won an Emmy, but he should have won an Emmy. He actually embraced that role. And David Chase, the creator and producer of The Sopranos, saw Little Steven introduce or induct at the induction for Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I'm not sure what number, but the Young Rascals, which is up here, the Rascals' Greatest Hits. They later changed it to Rascals. So he inducted them. And David Chase said when he saw that induction, and it's on YouTube, it's also in this movie, most of it, you could see that this guy is a natural, he could act. And David Chase said, he looks Italian. I'm going to call his agent, said, this guy wants you to do a TV show. He goes, I'm not an actor. Talked to David Chase. He goes, you'll be a natural for this. I know you could do it. And I think Little Stevie said, paraphrasing, he goes, look, man, I don't want to take away, I'm not an actor. I'm a musician. I'm a producer. I don't want to take away anybody's job that's an actor, suffering, starving, going to auditions. He said, I didn't want, and David Chase said, that's fair. I'll write a part for you. And that's what he did. He wrote the part of Consigliere of Tony Soprano. And I believe Stevie Van Zandt actually outlined the profile for his own character. Friends with Tony Soprano. I'm not going to go into too much detail. You may have never watched a show. You may not like those type of shows, but it's one of the best television programs ever. It's up there with The Wire. It's up there with Crime Story. Crime Story is Michael Mann directed that for NBC, but this was cable, and they could do a lot of things that network TV couldn't do. But he saw him. He became Dante. Later on, he was approached after the 7 or 6 seasons of The Sopranos ran its course. Don't forget, The Sopranos was 25 years ago, and people are watching it more now on streaming than they did when it debuted on HBO 25 years ago. So some producers from Sweden approached him, or Norway rather, approached him to do a series called Lilyhammer, where a mafioso in the witness protection program gets relocated to Norway, I believe. A Norwegian produces, and he did that, and that was a big hit, Lilyhammer. He actually directed. He actually did some. I think Bruce even cameoed on it. So his career is just amazing. And the documentary, like I said, it's a long documentary, but it goes really fast because it's mixed with music. It's mixed with interviews of him. It's mixed with interviews of legends, Bruce, Jackson Brown, people who were on Sun City, Run DMC, so many people. He brought together, when he did the Sun City records, Bono, Keith Richards, Ronnie Wood, Ruben Blades, Curtis Blow, Clarence Clements, Jimmy Cliff is interviewed, George Clinton, Miles Davis is interviewed, Peter Gabriel, Bob Geldof, who did his own thing, right? Daryl Hall, Herbie Hancock, Little Stevens, Darlene Love, John Oates, Run DMC, Zach and Ringo Starr, Zach Starkey, Bruce, Lou Reed, David Ruffin, Bonnie Raitt, Joey Ramone, Pete Townsend, Peter Wolf, Bobby Womack. That's alphabetical. But the documentary basically follows this book. Most people who haven't read the book will not realize that. But you've got Southside Johnny and the Kid. You've got the Punk Meets the Godfather. I think when he met Bruce, Revolution, he starts to go into this activism. A Night at the Opera, Gangster Days, that's The Sopranos. Soulfire, his latest incarnation, which was from 218. I was lucky enough to go with some other good friends of mine, some of my best friends, to see Soulfire, the Disciples' Soulfire, Stevie Van Zandt at the Count Basie Theater down the shore in New Jersey. And of course, we're sitting center in the balcony, great seats. Comes out a large, it's like a review. It's almost like Ike Cantina. He's got the girls in miniskirts. He's got congos. He's got horns. He's got bass. He's got guitar. He's playing lead guitar. He's flamboyant. Bruce comes out. His best friend, his buddy, his best man at his wedding. There's also clips of Stephen's wedding, and I believe Gary U.S. Bonds performed there. If you don't know Gary U.S. Bonds, check him out. It's a treasure. So anyway, Bruce comes out. Place goes crazy. Probably does about 40 minutes with Little Steven. Now, that's always a treat if Bruce shows up, but Little Steven could hold his own, definitely could hold his own. He's just a master. And that's the original copy. I bought this, I guess when it came out, Crazy Eddie. This is Crazy Eddie. Our prices are insane. Here's the inner, and it has lyrics. It has credits, which I'm not going to read. It has multiple versions of Sun City. The Struggle Continues. Silver and Gold is with Keith and Bono and Ronnie Wood. So that's the label. But really worth your while to check out on HBO, streaming now, HBO and Max. Steven Van Zandt, The Disciple. Just a fascinating world where you will be, the average fan of Bruce knows all about Little Steven, but the average fan, I don't think, knows the depth of what he did to free victims of apartheid. He later went to China. He did some things for the Chinese problem. He did things for the American Indian in this country, the indigenous Native American Indian. He did things like that. Here's one of his earlier albums, Little Steven, Disciple of Soul. All great stuff. This comes with a poster, which is, it's like an insert poster with credits. But not only is he a rock and roller, he's a rock and roll historian. He was the first one to have a branded syndicated show on Sirius Radio called The Underground Garage, which is now streamed, I guess, millions of times a year. And he brought all that passion he had for rock and roll, all that passion he had for the Rascals when he did that little intro into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, where he said that they were rock and roll. So really a cool guy. Whenever he's being interviewed, I watch it on YouTube. There's a cool interview that he did right before with Jeff Beck, right before Jeff Beck passed away. It's on YouTube with Johnny Depp. As you know, Jeff Beck and Johnny Depp did an album, and unfortunately, Beck got sick and died months after that album was released. But there's a interview, I think it's from Sirius Radio, but it's filmed and it's on YouTube. So catch that, Jeff Beck, Johnny Depp, and Beck is so cool. He's just sitting there letting Johnny Depp take center stage, and you could tell Steven's just loving it. Here's another record called Voice of America, another political record. Undefeated, Checkpoint Charlie, Justice, Voice of America, Little Steven and Disciples, and you could see that's from a famous Spanish painting about oppression, that cover. And this has a nice insert and a poster of Little Steven in his regalia. People know that this poster that's cut up here. I don't remember the title, but it's I believe it's a Spanish painter right there. People out there know, and as I'm saying, people out there know. I want to thank all the subscribers. I want to thank all the subs and likes. And if you haven't subscribed, please try to subscribe. Just hit that button. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything. And whenever we do reviews or reviews of films, about music, reviews about new pressings, you'll probably get a notification or something. I don't know how YouTube works it, but it's all cool. So there you have it. Really good stuff. Like I said, I've got the book. I met him, and just want to mention, I was mentioning friends, and Rico gave me that autograph of Little Steven that he picked up at a DJ job he did for Southside. And the funny thing is, I met Bruce years ago at this place down the shore, down Asbury Park, called the Fast Lane. All the rockers would go there, and I walk in with my friends. This is in the 70s, and we go to see John Hyatt, who's great. If you don't know John Hyatt, check him out, singer-songwriter. I'm not sure what he's doing lately, but he was pretty cool back at that time. So anyway, I see Bruce at the bar, Bruce Springsteen, and my friends, they were real Bruce guys. They said, "Don't bother him. We let him be." I said, "Well, I said I'm not going to bother him, but I want to get his autograph for Rico, because Rico is the biggest Bruce fan I know, still is. Knows every word, knows every lyric, knows every word from the acoustic demos that he did when he was more folk, Dylan, knows all the words." So I went up to him, and he goes, I talked to him, I said, "I'd like to get you to sign for my friend." He probably thought it was for me. I don't think he believed it was for my friend, but I could see that. So he goes, "After the set, man," I'll never forget it. He goes, "After the set, man." So after the set, I went back up to him. I said, "Bruce, hate to bother you." "No problem." He took a I think we took a bill from the place, like a little bill that the waitress would bring, and he signed it to Rick. And the Bruce Springsteen autograph is exactly so good, so clear. He took his time, it was in pencil, that he has on the back of one of the first or second album, where it says Bruce Springsteen on the, just an amazing autograph. So Rick was nice enough to reciprocate, gave me the little Steve, and it's been hanging here for probably 20 years or so now. So, but if you can, check out HBO. It's streaming now. It's probably on demand. It's going to be on Max. It's on HBO Max. They're the same. But check it out. Steven Van Zandt, The Disciples. It's his entire story up to this point. And he's interviewed. His wife is interviewed. People from The Sopranos are interviewed, saying that he just stepped right into those shoes. He invented this character, Silvio Dante. And they talk about Gandolfini, what a great actor he was, what a giving actor he was, especially to a newbie like Steven, because, well, he's from Jersey. He knew Stevie from Bruce and Southside, so that wasn't a stretch for Gandolfini to like him. Well, check this out. Very important album in rock history. Thanks again. Appreciate all the subs. Keep rocking. And we'll see you at the next session. Ciao.